Okay, hey guys, this is Toby Morrison here. I'm the little tall guy in the screen down the bottom there, and this is lovely Victoria. Say hello, Vic.
Hi, everybody.
So like, I guess Vic, I just wanted to talk to you today to give a bit of inspiration about your story, because you and I have been doing some one-on-one coaching across the world from one another. You're based in where?
California.
California.
The coast of California.
And, California, baby. And I'm here in Melbourne, Australia, and we got linked up through my online program, which you've been a part of since late last year.
Actually, I wasn't able to do much. I signed up then, but I really started in January of this year, 2014.
Yeah, and how did you even find me? We were talking about this the other day, and I was like, we've been working together for the last couple of months, and it's like, how did you even find me?
Well, I was on another forum site, and a fella posted your video. I think it's a guy named Max or something, and you were working out with him in the gym. And he posted that, and that led me to your website. And then I joined your website. You had like a, where you could just join to see some of your vids and podcasts. So that's what I did,
Yeah, and then when I launched the online program, you took advantage of it and went straight into it.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, cool. And just to give a bit of a rundown, how many kids have you got? You're a mum?
I've got 2 kids.
You got 2 kids. You got a loving husband who works his bottom off.
Yes, he looks after me. Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, when we met, things weren't that great for you, really.
Right.
Where were you at?
Well, things were pretty rough. When I met you, I've been spending a lot of time in the past year doing a lot of meditating to calm down my nervous system. But up until that point, I was I was definitely housebound and often bedbound and unable to get out and just exhausted. For 4 years, I did the push and crash cycle, trying to, show up for my kids' basketball games and plays, and I would show up for an hour, and it was so challenging just to talk to people and then to crash for like days or weeks after that. And I kind of kept it close and let people know, because it was, none of the doctors could figure out what was going on. And so that went on for 4 years. So when I finally found your program, I was in pretty bad shape. Yeah.
And just to give people an idea is, I mean, we were talking about the other day, you've started the recovery program, and we're setting out with structured movement to help you feel better and increase your strength and stamina, which is working. Nutrition, your whole daily routine, your sleep, everything, mindset.
Yes.
We're working on everything. But one of the things that I remember the other day we were talking when we were doing our coaching session was, you're now driving to the pool, and you're doing some slow pool work and rebuilding your strength through through the water. And I mean, it was not long ago that you could barely get in the car and drive anywhere.
Exactly.
But, wasn't it? At the start of it, when you didn't really know what was going on, you were driving to the pool, but then sometimes you had to turn around because you felt so bad.
Exactly, and that's only been 5 months. But I would drive out to the pool. Early in the illness, I would drive out there and just couldn't even get out of my car to go swim, and I would leave. And then some days when I did make it into the pool, which I love to swim and work out with the weights, I would be so exhausted and I would just sob. What is wrong with me? There were no answers. The doctors here seemed to be very uneducated about the illness. So I didn't get a diagnosis until 4.5 years into it. And so now that I'm actually able to drive out to the pool, and it would have never occurred to me to just get in the pool and wade for 8 minutes. Now that first I started in January with a 3-minute walk. Before that, I had been doing a 20-minute walk before I was introduced to your program, like whenever I could manage it during the week, about 3 times a week. And that was all I could do. I mean, it was like it crashed me for the rest of the week, but I didn't realize that until you said you have to start at a very bare minimum so that you're not crashing when you exercise. So I went with 3 minutes, and then I built up to 7 minutes. And then that's when you said, okay, now it's time for you to start getting out to the pool a couple of times and doing your walking in the pool for 8 minutes. And you have to, I think that's it. You need a lot of self-restraint because you want to get in there and swim, and then the crash comes. And I think,
and I guess, and I know that you love, your passion is the pool. You love being outdoors, and you've got a beautiful pool. You sent a photo to all the guys in the inner circle the other day. and you know, and that's what you love to do. So you know, for me personally, you know, that's what it's all about for guys out there who want to recover. You know, it's all about doing what you love.
Right.
And slowly getting back into that. And it takes time, but, you know, I can, you know, you see the happiness on your face. I mean, you haven't wiped a smile off your face the last couple of weeks since you've been doing all this.
I know, I'm so happy. It's such an amazing feeling to get in there again and go, life is not over. It is starting again. It's amazing.
And that's what I want, you know, people to take out there. You know, Vic, you're very positive in the way you look at it. And I know for a long time, for 4.5 years, it felt like, you know, mentally you wanted to feel good. You wanted to do all the things. You drive yourself in exhaustion to the pool to try and do what you love to do.
Right.
But physically, your body wasn't allowing you to do it.
Right.
You know, and we all feel like that, you know.
Yeah.
And, you know, you're an inspiration because, one, you backed it off, you know, and you started doing what was right for you.
Yeah.
You know, and I know I helped you, but at the same time, it's what you've done to make it happen.
Yeah.
You know, people look at me and go, oh, you know, do you have a magic wand? Or, you know, what do you do to your clients to make them feel good? And it's like, no. I teach them how to teach themselves, you know, how to feel good again.
Right.
And I remember you said to me the other week, you know, you're like, oh, I'm so excited, but I'm kind of scared because I feel good. You know, I'm not crashing. You know, I'm not going backwards. I'm actually progressing. And I'm like, well, no, there's no coincidence there. It's just because you've been doing the right things.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, well, there were some big changes that you made. When we first met, it was my daily routine. And, you know, we get kind of comfortable. You know, I was really tired, so I didn't want to get out of bed. And the way you started, you said, okay, I want you to take your energy from the evening and get it into the day. Because, of course, in the evening, our adrenals start going and we get kind of wired. So you shifted it. And, you know, there were times where I felt like I was going backwards. And I would see people on the inner circle that were progressing. And I would think, what's wrong with me? You know, I'm not moving forward. But you also had told me recently about how your body takes a couple of weeks to adapt whenever you change. So my body was just adapting to, you started me with 4 wall push-ups. And I think I had 4 exercises that I did 4 repetitions, 2 sets. Yeah. And now I've increased from there, but, you know, I had to adapt my body. It just took time. And then it's almost like you hit a place where you begin, that energy begins to come.
Yeah, and I know, I mean, and guys, Vic's a very energetic person, and you can see now that when you see her face, you know, her face lights up and she loves to chat. But, you know, you don't see behind the closed doors like we've all been through chronic fatigue, you know, the hours that we spend in bed or the hours that we rest and the hours that we do meditation and do positive thinking and everything else that goes with that. So, you know, take inspiration from that, you know, Vic is a walking example of everything that most people with chronic fatigue have been through, and now you're, you know, and I know you're not fully recovered by any means, but at the same time, you're improving.
Yes.
You know, and you know where you're going in the direction you're going to, and it's not by mistake, it's not by fault, it's by, you know, you doing the right things and consciously working on it.
Right. You know, I think there's one other thing, Toby, that is so difficult that I would just like to point out is how isolating this illness is. And that's where my heart goes out to people that are just away and they're just in their rooms and they do not know what's happening with them. They're not able to function on a daily basis. They've lost all contact with people, their friends. We can't maintain friendships. It's very hard to get back. And I just want to say one of the amazing things about your program is the Inner Circle and the forum that you've created, because it gives an amazing place of connection for people where we can share in a positive light what's going on. And then if, you know, it's an amazing resource. And I think that in itself is healing as well. To be understood, you know?
I agree. And, you know, I guess I was really hesitant to start the forum initially because, unfortunately, a lot of the support groups out there aren't that supportive and they're kind of negative and they kind of dwell on what's not working and, you know, oh, how bad my day is. And I know with recovery, that's not going to help anyone feel better.
Right.
You know, it's important to be empathetic and understand, and we all know what it's like to have shocking days. I mean, I had it for 4.5 years. I had shocking months just like everyone else.